Hey everybody, it's your girl Pajama at the Casa Mamer Studios. And today it's the dynamic duo. Woo! Our buddy David's not going to be with us, but will valiantly go on in his stead. And today we have a couple of really interesting movies on Netflix. We have Family Switch, and we have Headliners with Chris Rock and Kevin Hart. So it's a documentary about their Headliners Only comedy stand-up. What is it? Mega Arena tour. So with me, of course, is the professor of all things Marvel and Tolkien. Say hi to the people, Patrick.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Unfortunately, we are a third short this week, but we're going to do our best to make Dave not embarrassed to watch this when he gets a chance.
I know. He's probably like my support system, but well, let's get started with our Christmas movie this week, which is Family Switch. Let's take a peek.
Hey, kids, it's time for the annual Christmas video.
Not right now, Mom.
I worry that we're all kind of disconnected.
I'm sorry, did you ask me something? What?
Sorry?
I can't
This family looks like it could use a little Christmas magic.
She says this to every family. We should go, guys. Thank you so much. I wish you could be me. I would love for you to be me for one day.
I would love for you to know what it's like to be me.
Believe it or not, I was young once.
What, to like 10,000 years ago?
Honestly, I want to be you. I would kill to eat a dozen donuts and just have it burn right off. Why am I in your bed, Mom?
Wyatt?
Dad.
This is a completely unique and original situation that has literally never happened before.
Right? I mean, no kid has ever just woken up big.
Yeah, it's so freaky.
You're telling me I'm 17 again.
I'm 13 going on 30.
That was cute. That was probably one of the best things in the movie. All right, Patrick, what did you think of Family Switch?
You know, that scene was the summary of the movie, to be honest. I mean, it was cute. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was just, I've seen it all before. They just chopped it up and threw it in a stir fry and made it into something different, but it was the same chicken, same vegetables, you know. I liked it. I mean, Jennifer Garner, they had a great cast. There was a lot of good talent there. You know, I had the girl from Wednesday. I can't remember her name. You had Ed Helms, who's done a lot of this sort of stuff. And Jennifer Garner, glad to see her back on the screen. But I kept waiting for the water skiing scene. It just felt very Freaky Friday-ish, you know. And I'm talking the old one, not the Lindsay Lohan one. We're talking the Haley Mills one. Yeah. So, I mean, it was lovely to see Rita Moreno again. Lovely to see her always. And the rest of it was just, it was just, like I said, I like stir fry, but I understand what stir fry is. It's a lot of the stuff you got laying around, and you throw it together and you turn it into something. You say, "Hey, here's dinner," you know. And it filled me, so it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but it was not. This is high praise for me. It wasn't unwatchable. So there you go.
Oh wow,
high praise.
I thought that scene there was kind of funny and a little meta, and I thought the acting was really good. I was pleasantly surprised at the kids. I thought there were some interesting stories going on, but it definitely was a reacher. But this is actually a book, and so definitely check out the book.
Now the only stupid question I got about the whole thing was how did the boy's hair get straight all of a sudden? I mean, it was curly as heck through the first half of the movie until he changed, and then it's like straight hair, and I'm like, did I miss the scene where he straightened his hair? I missed it.
And I'm like, why would he straighten his hair? That's some continuity issue. Somebody didn't get with the hair and makeup department.
or
Yeah,
if
I
something's
guess
on the
he
cutting room
felt
floor. I
it
don't
was
know.
like, you know what? I need to straighten up this stuff. Did he use, Revlon, Dark and Lovely? What did he use? But yeah, I think Family Switch is a nice movie that the whole family can watch. You could watch this Christmas Day with the whole family. And, it's not offensive. I didn't see any part of it that was offensive at all. And so I think definitely check out Family Switch. All right, next up is Kevin Hart's tribute to Chris Rock in Headliners Only. Let's take a peek.
This is a story about two separate journeys, but somehow align and end up at the same intersection at the top.
I didn't go to college. I barely went to high school. I had holes in my shoes. Once I got good, things moved really fast.
He was the first guy I ever heard write jokes like a song with hooks and everything.
If you made it as a comedian, you weren't like whoever on this sitcom. You're Chris Rock.
The first real comedic star that I had a conversation with was Chris Rock. Chris embraced me as a young comic.
When you see someone else who has potential, you want them to be better.
I was working as a shoe salesman.
That is amazing.
Kevin was doing the highest grossing tour in the history of stand-up comedy tours.
I said, why don't we do something together? What do you think about doing New York? It's a big deal, man.
What'd you think, Pat?
I liked it. I mean, it was really interesting to me to see the rise of these guys that just feel like they've been there forever. Both of them, to be honest. Chris Rock much more, because I remember my first Chris Rock experience was "Gonna Get You, Sucker" with the Wayans brothers, and I was just like that. I mean, he stole big chunks of the movie with his 5 minutes on screen, and it's one of the most. Put it in my hands. Oh, fuck, put it in my hands. And I was just like,
what can I have it just in my hand?
how much for a rib? Just one rib. It sure smells good.
I'm hungry.
I know. It was just, I mean, he just stole the scene. And look at this. Both of us are talking about this. And how long ago would you see it? When's the last time you saw that? Maybe 10 years ago, maybe?
A couple weeks ago. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's been like 10 years since I've seen that movie. But
oh my God, watch it again. It's still funny.
Stuck. And his performance, and just to see where he came up. And I mean, there was a definite hard work ethic in both those guys. And they really really shone through, and seeing the respect from all these different genres of comedians. You know, you had the Seinfeld, you had Bill Burr, you had Wanda Skykes, you had Dave Chappelle, who's like, the godfather of comedy, right? Has been for several years now. But man, I'm telling you, I enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed this. It was really, really informative and entertaining.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, this is a result of the slap her around the world after Will.
There were jokes about it too, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and and everybody was like, and even in that moment, Chris Rock was still an amazing individual, and so that proves to me that he is a grown ass man who is a very in tune with who he is and what the assignment is. And so seeing the documentary, and I loved how they did it, where they went to other comics that both of them worked with and knew, and had them tell the story, and then interspersed with their own personal discussions about their rise. I just thought that was really interesting. So if people, who are out there hating on Chris at the time, this kind of shut them up, because I feel like this documentary showed how Chris Rock moved comedy itself into a different level than it was. You know, you got the hackney kind of people, you had the, you know, people who, but especially for Black comedians, that somebody was coming to your concert of all races, filling out arenas and still speaking to the Black experience. That was amazing. Plus, you might not know his TV credits too, you know, with Everybody Hates Chris, which was, that show went on for a long time. And I think one of its best things was the Chris Rock show. Man, you had some of the best writing, the best sketches, the best people, like stand up. Adam Sandler came on, and oh, what's his name? Well, now he's a big pervert, but at the time,
Have to narrow it down. Gonna have to narrow it down.
I know, right? Louis C.K.
Louis
and
C.K.
Wanda
Okay, yeah.
Sykes. And, you know, there was a bunch of writers behind there that are famous now, and directors, and he directed and produced and executive produced. So, you know, he's done almost everything. And like he said in the document, he's not done. He don't want to be in the Hall of Fame yet, because he's still out here doing it, you know. And it just goes to show. I mean, I remember him too before the incident. He was a great host for the Oscars. And if that incident hadn't occurred, they were doing a lot of fun stuff in the Oscars that night. So I think that in his past shows, that's got to be one of the most crazy gigs. And he always made it funny and, you know, biting and relevant. And I just loved it. And Kevin Hart, you know, he has come up. I mean, it seems like a meteoric rise really fast, but he's been around. I don't care what nobody says. I still love soul playing. He was not, I mean, he's so embarrassed by it, but it was legit funny. And so, some of his newer stuff is kind of appealing towards, you know, a crossover market, but it's still funny. But I want Kevin Hart to, you know, come back to some, you know, kind of more urban.
Well, it's funny how, you know, when they talked about, and you get the feeling that these guys aren't just comedians; they're almost jazz artists, because they would go to one show and then they do a set at this comedy club, and they go across town, and a half an hour later they say, well, this one didn't work, we're going to flip it up, and they're just going to keep trying, and they're going to plug in pieces and jokes and here and this and that, and they work it out so that they got timing, they know what flows into next, what works. I mean, these guys aren't just walking out telling jokes. Man, there's a lot to it. And then, I mean, then showing that one scene when they had all the Post-it notes on the wall.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I'm going to do this one, you know. I mean, there's a lot to it.
Yeah. And it all sounds so natural. I had the pleasure of seeing him in concert. I forget which tour. When he went to England, he went to London, and he went to South Africa, and each joke was in a different part of the world. And that was so cool. And we saw him when he came to DC. And it was just incredible to see him live, even better. And I think that he'll always be somebody that will turn out arenas, and, you know, people will still love to see Chris Rock. And I'm glad that what happened didn't move him out of the public eye, you know, that he is moved past it and is, you know, out there really crushing it.
Well, you know, if anything, it made people respect him more for his non-addressing it, just letting it go, just let it lie. And then, you know, it didn't affect him a quarter to an eighth as much as it affected Will Smith, because you don't see Will Smith doing a lot anymore.
And Jada Pinkett. I mean, she's out here, I mean, doing the most. And I just lost all respect for her and him. I'm just
Oh, him
like,
too. I mean, he was on the verge of greatness. Just everybody loved him. He was just a Keanu Reeves type character. Everybody just thought he was Will from Philly, because I also saw him on The Fresh Prince. And I mean, this guy, he's so nice, he's so cool. But then you see that, and you're like, the hell?
it was
okay,
so
that was all an act. I got fooled. We all got fooled, was what we thought.
Well, and they have a weird situation. Their marriage is something weird, and it's been getting out a little bit. They've been hushing it up, but now they're in the forefront, and it's not good. So, and that whole Oscar show was built around Will Smith. It really was, and it was his moment to really shine. But sometimes, when you're at the pinnacle, you're all of that. You feel unworthy of the honor, and it
imposter syndrome or whatever. Yeah,
syndrome. That's it. And I felt like that was an imposter syndrome moment, and egged on by that succubus he's married to. So, I was just so disappointed. But I'm so glad that Chris Rock is who he is, how he was raised, where he's at in life. It just goes to show that, character counts. In the end, character counts. And this was just funny. Listening to the other comedians, it's just funny, and they love them some Chris Rock. And it's great to see. So I thought, actually, my one complaint about it was I thought they were going to show the headliners tour, that you would see the actual comedy show. Because I don't think they're still touring. So I want to see it.
I mean, that's good marketing. I mean, scarcity raises value. I'm just saying,
Yeah, well, I ain't got $1,000 for tickets, so
I don't either.
So I
You'll buy me a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I mean, put it on Netflix and let Netflix, since it costs damn near as much to have Netflix per month to go to a concert. So
you ain't been to a concert in a while, have you? Ooh. You ain't been to a concert in a while. If you think Netflix costs as much as a concert, ooh.
I know.
I want to say, what's Netflix, like $20 a month, something like that now? 25?
Yeah, 20, I think.
20 or 25. Okay, fine, dandy. But the last concert I went to was Paramore at an amphitheater here in Kansas City, Sandstone. Pam knows it. And I want to say it was like $80 a ticket for me, and that was not
Paramore.
Paramore was amazing, and it was just I didn't feel bad about that. I mean, the most I've ever spent for a concert, I think I saw Springsteen at Sprint Center on the River Tour, and I think I spent $130, and those were crappy seats. But it was Bruce Springsteen, and he's only got, I wasn't going to miss it because you never know. You don't want to have a Stan Lee or a Tom Petty moment,
Well, I have to say I paid a lot more to see Sade front row tickets. I mean, front row.
Oh, we'll say that. Yeah, you were up in the bougie area. I wasn't there. I was in the back. I was up in nosebleed.
I sure was. I was in the front row with the VIP little set they had for us and everything. So that is one person. That and Boy George and Culture Club. Two people that I spend to sit front row.
Nope, not me. I never have felt like I had that kind of money. Never had that kind of money. Well, so Bruce Springsteen, The River was early 80s, and so I mean it was, it was amazing. It was the 25th anniversary tour of it. I mean, the guy came out and he didn't have an opening band. He is the opening band. He played like 3 hours, and he was in his 60s at the time. The guy's breaks between his songs and the concert were shorter than the breaks between the songs on the albums and the CDs and stuff. the guy was a machine. I can't say that, you know, everything you ever heard about Bruce Springsteen concerts being that good, they were. I spent a lot for U2 at Arrowhead too, and that was a big concert.
Yeah.
And but that was an arena tour.
I went to U2 and we had pretty nosebleed seats. I think I went to what, 3 concerts of theirs? I hit the tour and hit 3 dates.
Nice.
And they were worth it. They were worth
I mean, me and Doug Reeman, friend of ours, we got tickets on the field. So we were down there. I mean, we were probably at one point when they come out and did all the old stuff out towards the end of the stage. They had like an island out there. I mean, we were maybe, 40 foot from the stage. And so it was cool, man, because that's part of U2 I like. I didn't, Unforgettable Fire and,
yeah,
was good and stuff. But I mean, Boy and War and all their old stuff, man, when they were still angry and edgy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, that was woof. But definitely, I think that this movie is something. Now, there's a lot of curse words and a lot
if anybody tunes in to Chris Rock and Kevin Hart and a comedy and Dave Chappelle and Bill's, all these guys, if you don't think there's going to be curse words, then you probably are not smart enough to be watching TV. If it's rated R or these kind of things, don't watch it. Yeah, I mean, you should know.
Saying that beware, because there is a lot of cursing and a lot of use of slurs, but it's adult, but it's very what they say, and the lessons that they talk about, very interesting. So probably your teenagers can watch this but definitely check out Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Headliners Only. It's definitely worth watching. So that takes us to the end of this week. And next week we have Best Christmas Ever.
And we might want, hold on. We need to talk about this. We might want to push Doctor Who back because the Christmas one is the one where they fully move on to the new Doctor. Might be a good idea. We'll talk about it, but there'll be another show for sure. Maybe not Doctor Who. We'll talk. Hands in charge. I'm just lobbying publicly right now. Everybody out there, send messages to Pam telling her that she needs to push that back a week so we get the new Doctor on there.
If there are any Doctor Who fans who want us to do the Doctor Who new Doctor, then you have to comment and subscribe, and we will watch it on Christmas. But I need to see an outpouring of Doctor Who yes in the comments.
We'll start making up fake accounts right now.
No, not fake accounts. So that's what's next week. Pat, say goodnight to the people.
Okay, everybody's going to be watching Doctor Who. If we do do it next week, you might want to back up a little bit and watch a few of them. For those of you that aren't big fans, because it is amazing. There's a reason why it's been on 60 years, just so you know.
Ew. This is because I love my brother from another mother so much. That this is his Christmas present this year. Is Doctor Who. Otherwise, y'all know I ain't watching that. So, so next week, come back and we'll look at the numbers and see. So you have until Thursday at midnight to put in whether we should watch Doctor Who Christmas special this week or the following week. Okay, so put Doctor Who next week or Doctor Who after Christmas if that's what you want. Okay, that's enough of that. So we'll see you next time. Take care.